This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Hey, Marcus House with you here, and today really exciting updates around the construction site at SpaceX's Starbase in Boca Chica, including lots of new launch tower infrastructure to dive right into. The Hubble Space Telescope's 1980s era computer system is finally showing wear and tear, hardly surprising for the harsh environment that it operates in. With Hubble still offline though, what does that mean for its future? We have some early analysis of these samples from Asteroid Ryugu, which has shown some interesting results. The Boeing Starliner is all ready for a second attempt at the Orbital Flight Test. When will this be, and what has transpired to reach this critical milestone? Big action also this week on the International Space Station while installing new solar arrays. There was also a MacGyver moment there for one NASA astronaut, so we're going to find out how teamwork saved Spacewalk 75.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
It really has been quite astounding watching Starbase evolve since the last flight occurred with Starship 15 on May the 6th. Since then, major flight action may have been non-existent in Boca Chica, but don't let that fool you into thinking that we are seeing a slowdown in activity. That couldn't be further from the truth. Right after that successful flight, the decision was made to hold further launches and push straight to the orbital test flight, surprising everyone. Starship 16 may see a hypersonic flight, but we don't know how certain that is or when it may happen. So in just a little over 7 weeks since that 15 flight, the drive to prepare the flight for Starship 20 and the first flight-worthy Super Heavy booster has been relentless, with action occurring every day. In just weeks now, we could be seeing a launch facility resembling something like this. Here we see the complex Super Heavy launch tower, which is getting closer every day. Beside it, the orbital launch pad with a full stack Starship running through final tests preparing for flight. How many weeks could this be? Well, we really don't know. Gwen Shotwell did just say a few days ago that SpaceX was targeting July. Given that Elon Musk surprised us the other day by saying that the booster we have been watching all this time is now not the one that's going to be flying to orbit, we need to wait until the next is fully constructed. The current booster is actually instead going to be moved to Test Stand A, and I guess will be tested as some kind of Pathfinder vehicle. It will actually be the next booster to fly to orbit, which will be an incredible thing to witness. The 29 Raptor engines will blast exhaust through the centre of the stand here with forces never seen before. Each Raptor is capable of around 2.2 meganewtons of thrust, totaling around 64 meganewtons. Now let me just convert that once again into terms that are a little more common to understand. That is a thrust with about 6,500 metric tons of force behind it. The full rocket itself weighs in at around 5,000 metric tons, so more than enough thrust to easily lift this colossal booster off the pad and hurl it out of the atmosphere in just a few minutes. Just a terrific new animation here by Alex Svan this week too. Check that out from the link in the description when you get a second. I can tell you the noise that this will make will be something out of this world, and with any luck it will indeed leave the world briefly in the first mission that is pushing all the way to orbital velocity minus just a little bit of speed. This is because the plan is for the Starship to re-enter the atmosphere on the opposite side of the orbit for a splashdown close by Hawaii. Now, let's not blindly assume that this is a guaranteed scenario. There are forces here that have never been seen before. Just the engine vibration and overall acoustics could cause issues never witnessed. Will it launch and clear the tower? What will happen if any one of a million issues occurs on launch? Can the new launch tower and pad take the punishment of a full stack exploding? Remember the super energetic explosion made by Starship Prototype 4? Well, there wasn't a lot of fuel in that at all. A full stack will contain a staggering amount of propellant. So how do SpaceX plan to reduce that risk? Some of these questions could be answered very soon. Now, last week, of course, we saw the launch tower's rapid progress with both the 4th and the 5th steel sections being stacked on top, followed by the 6th tower section being rolled down to the site late in the week. That 6th section was here at the launch site waiting patiently for much of the week, while the 7th section has been completed at the Sanchez gas site and is ready for rollout. What we were really waiting to see, though, was the 8th section. The first pillar for Section 8 was lifted onto the jig on Monday, with more pillars added throughout the week. This, as we expected, is the final section of the Launch Integration Tower, and it is different from the previous sections. This section is shorter with a slight design change on top to cap it all off. Now also at the Sanchez site, the second cryoshell is now complete and it's been moved closer to the road, ready for transport to the orbital tank farm. The third cryoshell has begun stacking as well. While we are here close by the village, we see these interesting sphere devices that have appeared just over the last few weeks. These are actually Starlink communication systems that are being incorporated at the ground station. With the flight of Starship 15 and also some of the others, we had a lot of signal dropout. The hope here is that this new infrastructure is going to help provide faster and more reliable data transmission to the base so that we can see more of that terrific future flight detail without any interruptions. Just as a quick side note with Starlink, Elon Musk tweeted a response to Tory Bruno midweek approving the chart here on space debris. This is the core reason that we've seen SpaceX request to move the originally proposed shells from 1,100 kilometre orbits down to a much lower 550 kilometre altitude. Even in the extent that space debris is created in this location, the atmosphere at this altitude will automatically clear it out within a few years. Now, along with the tower expansion, we now have a brand new beast that has arrived to talk about. Meet the ADS-30Q, a heavy-duty chain drive which was salvaged from one of SpaceX's oil rigs. It has since been installed to the side of the orbital launch tower right here. These colossal beasts are normally used for ocean drilling platforms and winching loads over 1,000 tons. It appears now that this will be used either for the tower's crane or the booster catch system, perhaps even both simultaneously. The incredibly powerful drum brake system incorporated in this hoist could, I think, be capable of great things. We're going to be keeping a close eye on the development of the lift systems to see how this may fit the bigger picture. Close by, these mysterious yellow pipes have been spotted over the past few weeks. At the time, we didn't really have any idea what they were for, but we have a few hints about what they're not. A few workers have now started connecting more and more of these pipes together into what is speculated now to be a structure related to the stacking and catching mechanism for the tower. Thanks to RGV aerial photography's photos, we know for sure that these aren't pipes for the ground support equipment, as it certainly wouldn't have sharp corners like this. The kinds of pointed angles that are displayed here make no sense for running liquids through, especially with some of those angles being less than 90 degrees. Furthermore, these pipes look to be made out of a very solid metal wall, which should result in a very sturdy structure. Could it be strong enough to lift the super heavy booster onto the stand, as well as catching the booster at landing? Let me know what you think in the comments about this. The only official word that we've heard about such a system that seems related to this in some way is from a tweet from Elon Musk himself in April this year, saying that the launch tower that catches this booster is basically Mechzilla. I've also been keeping a very close eye on the development of the Super Heavy booster. I was surprised this week to see a second forward dome section appear for Super Heavy with the same cutouts for grid fins and the overall layout to the one spotted last week right here. This new booster forward section was then sleeved over a booster forward dome, and the dome itself is visible through the grid fin cutout to the right. Then we also see one of a newly installed set of hot gas thrusters which can be seen on the left near the edge of the doorway. So the very first sleeve that we saw last week is likely to have been a Pathfinder, and this second sleeve is likely to be used for the Super Heavy booster currently residing in the high bay at 23 rings tall. So that is all very interesting to see. This new version that has arrived looks to be proceeding more with new components. So yes, thanks to the wonderful work by NASA Spaceflight, and in particular this week the incredible Brady Kenniston, known as the Favoritist on Twitter, we've spotted the very first hot gas thrusters which have been installed onto this booster's forward dome sleeve. Just note here that there are 3 separate thrust outlets, 2 facing sideways opposing each other and 1 facing directly outward. With multiple sets of these around the booster, they can control the orientation quickly, similar to what we witness with Falcon 9 in flight. The difference with these hot gas thrusters is that they will be much more powerful. I'm actually wondering if this technology or similar will be used in the top of the human landing system Starship for landing on the moon. I've been assuming that they would use powerful hot gas thrusters for that purpose, all autogenously fueled from the main methane and oxygen tanks. However, that is all very speculative until we know more. Now, speaking of the human landing system Starship, I actually have a midweek video coming that I think that you're really going to love that dives right into how this mission could work. We've run a lot of numbers and I think that you could be very surprised about what this solution could be capable of. Just look out for that on Tuesday or Wednesday this coming week. It is always so thrilling to watch everything evolve each and every day, and we like to dive deeper into these topics when we can. Thanks very much for subscribing here to stay up to date with us. We launch these weekly videos at the same time every Saturday, and that is all because of your amazing support. Just liking and sharing these videos also makes a huge difference to what I do, and it's really helped turn the channel into this dream job. Now, on Monday, we finally got to see a little action towards the next flight test of Boeing's Starliner. We will jump right into that in just a moment, but first, a big thank you to our sponsor for today's video, Surfshark VPN, who have been huge supporters of my channel here. A VPN, or virtual private network such as this offered by Surfshark, allows you the potential to truly unlock the internet. Have you chewed through all of the available content that you want to watch from libraries within your country? With this great application that's available on both desktop and mobile devices, you can instantly expand your world of content to digest. Simply select the country that you want to appear to be accessing the internet from, and bam, just like that, you now appear to be browsing from that location and have access to all new content. With your unprotected IP address aided by browser cookies, your behavior is tracked for marketing purposes all over the internet. Have you ever wondered why you are seeing an ad for a product that you looked at just weeks or months before? Using Surfshark VPN and their clean web feature, you can mask that activity and surf protected while blocking those pesky ads and trackers. You can easily protect your online history and data from internet service providers, data mining systems, or perhaps even from those around you who may have very differing personal views or beliefs. If you would like to support my channel and are considering a VPN, head to surfshark.deals/Marcus to get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. On top of that, you also get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out risk-free yourself. Check it out from the link below. So yes, on Monday we finally got to see some action in regard to Starliner's next flight test. That, of course, being Orbital Flight Test 2. Greg Scott made the trip out to catch up with the Atlas V booster and the upper stage being unloaded from United Launch Alliance's massive transport ship. I think it's always great watching rocket ships being unloaded, and confusingly, this is actually named Rocket Ship, which seems cute, but has people scratching their heads whenever it is written in articles like this. We had astronauts Butch and Mike in attendance as well, which was a very nice surprise, and if all goes to plan, these two amazing individuals will be joined by Nicole Mann for the very first crewed mission. That is, of course, all dependent on the success of Orbital Flight Test 2, which is what we are seeing being unloaded right here. Boeing has finally completed all the steps that were required by their independent review, and based on that, this vehicle is now scheduled to fly again no earlier than the end of July. The review itself, of course, uncovered a large number of recommended updates for the vehicle, software, and processes involved, which has obviously caused extensive delays. I remember back at one point it was believed that Starliner could beat the Crew Dragon to the ISS, but as it turned out, there was no shortage of issues with that first attempt. So yes, this mission is going to reattempt the exact same process that was intended for the initial flight, including hopefully this time docking with the International Space Station. It should then spend somewhere between 5 and 10 days orbiting the Earth before it returns to land. NASA did state here as well that if everything goes to plan with this second test mission, that a flight with the crew could be on the cards for late this year. So that is very good news. Thanks there to Greg for capturing this magic. Make sure you're following on Twitter there if you want to keep up to date with all of these events going on here at the Cape. Now, there is also lots of great detail to cover on the International Space Station as well. As you may already be aware, the last SpaceX Cargo Dragon CRS-22 had a special delivery in the unpressurized trunk area. These are special roll-out solar arrays that will deliver an additional 120 kilowatts of daytime power. Individually, these arrays are 15 feet wide and 60 feet long, and they can provide up to 20 kilowatts of power for each one of them. Now, these don't make the original solar arrays completely obsolete. The original arrays, with some partially covered, are still going to produce around 95 kilowatts for a total of approximately 215 kilowatts of augmented daytime power. This upgrade is also future-proofing the station for commercial and other agency use as well. And the technology seen here will be the same used for the future Artemis Gateway, which will establish humanity's permanent presence in lunar orbit and support surface missions as well. Now, an earlier attempt to deploy the arrays was actually abandoned due to lack of time, issues with Shane's spacesuit, and an alignment problem with the new array. We had Thomas Pesquet and Shane Kimbrough conducting the Spacewalk 75 just recently, once again heading straight to the worksite at the 2B power channel. Working to a tight timeline due to setbacks in the previous EVA, these two very experienced operators worked tirelessly for over 6.5 hours. With a little over 33 minutes until orbital nighttime, an issue was again detected with Shane's spacesuit. This time it was the lights and the camera coming adrift from his helmet. Thomas quickly made his way around to assess the issue and MacGyvered the situation with some wire that he had with him. Orbital night, here known as a working eclipse, was soon upon them, and station power generation quickly reached zero. The go-ahead was given to begin decoupling existing connections and then coupling up the new array, tying it to the 2B power channel along with the existing old array. Sunrise again, and the work pace kept going. With the system checks completed, it was time to release the two retaining bolts and let the stored momentum in the rolled up panel assembly begin to slowly unfurl itself in a process lasting approximately 6 minutes. It was just beautiful to watch all of this work being carried out. Now, back at the beginning of May 2020, the Hubble Space Telescope celebrated its 30th anniversary in orbit. Way back in the day, initially this mission was off to a rough start, with the primary mirror needing a repair mission. Servicing missions by space shuttle crews in the past have kept this telescope operational, with expectations high that it will continue to provide valuable data and discoveries into the late 2020s, possibly even longer. Sadly though, recently on June 13th, one of its main aging computer systems developed a fault, resulting in the main computer putting systems into a protective safe mode. The cause is still under investigation by NASA technicians, with no ETA on when or how the problem could be corrected. However, it is thought that the issue is possibly with a computer that commands the science instruments. Degraded memory is highly likely here, given that space is such a harsh environment. Thankfully though, the design of Hubble is such that there are backup modules and several options available to try. This will hopefully resolve the issue so that we can once again continue to witness amazing images such as these well into the future. Now, a very quick update as well on JAXA's asteroid sample return mission. The Hayabusa 2 spacecraft returned 5.4 grams of regolith from the asteroid Ryugu in December of 2020. JAXA kindly distributed samples to 14 countries soon thereafter. An early analysis of the samples have now confirmed the presence of organic matter, including nitrogen and carbon, as well as other elements such as an abundance of hydrogen. Along with all of this, it appears that the boulders on asteroids can be over 70% hollow, based on a recent discovery that could help provide new data from how planets form. It also seems clear, based on the research conducted, that there was plenty of water on the asteroid. It is hoped that these types of science missions are going to shed a lot of light on how water and organic matter came to exist during the formation of our Earth. So yes, all very interesting stuff covered there this week. Remember as well that we are huge supporters of the transition to electric vehicles here on the channel, and our partner EV offers the ability to hire an electric vehicle in Australia. Perhaps you have wanted to take an extended test drive. You could be touring the country and want to drive around in a Tesla. If that sounds appealing to you, you can use the link in the description for a discount. Thank you most of all to you right there, incredible viewers and supporters of my channel. You could be a regular viewer of our content, perhaps a patron or a YouTube member supporting what we do, or you could be picking up some sweet gear from our merch store, including this shirt that you see here. That design is also available in a wide range of products and clothing styles. No matter how you support me here, know that it contributes significantly to what I do, and it allows us to increase the time that we can collectively spend in research, editing and quality control. If you like what we're doing and you would like to help assist us with what we do directly, you can join up as a YouTube member via the join button below, or you can become a patron at patreon.com/MarcusHouse. Either of those options gives you access to chat to us more directly via the linked roles on our Discord server. You can also have your name listed right here like these other amazing people, and you also get earlier and ad-free access to the videos to watch before anyone else. Big thanks as well to the production crew for helping me research and proof the material in these videos. If you're interested in these topics and you would like to keep up to date, remember to follow us here below and on Twitter at MarcusHouse. In the tile in the bottom left today, we have my video last week. In the top right is my latest video, and in the bottom right, content that YouTube has selected from this channel just for you. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.